Every night before sleep, Zengzi asked himself three things. When I handled tasks for others, did I give my best? When I kept company with friends, was I trustworthy? When my teacher taught me something, did I review it? You have probably heard those 3 lines of reflection. Few people read on. This disciple of Confucius also left behind a much shorter classical text, under 2,000 characters in the original, yet it draws an 8-step ladder from washing one bowl properly to carrying the world in your heart. At the very bottom of that ladder are 2 words, Wu, investigating things. What, exactly, are you supposed to investigate? Good evening. This is Bedside Book Voice. Tonight we are reading The Great Learning. If you are already lying down, dim the lamp a little more, set the phone farther away, and pull the blanket up. This book is not about getting into college, and it is not great scholarship in the modern sense. The word dishui means the learning of a grown person how to grow whole, from the inside outward. It is short enough that you need not turn a single page tonight. You can follow my voice and walk through it. It is also long enough that for 2,000 years, reader after reader, from Zengzi to Zhu Xi, from Zhu Xi to your pillow, has kept returning to it. Let me be plain at the start, you do not need to memorize the whole text tonight, and you do not need to recite cultivate the person, regulate the family, govern the state, bring peace to the world word for word. Just listen for a roadmap of life, how the small knowing in your heart can travel all the way to the attaining in your actions. When we finish, you will carry away a few lines that can stay with you for a long time. If you fall asleep halfway, that is all right. The ladder will not collapse, and I will not mind. The question we planted at the opening stays open for now. When we investigate things, are we investigating outer objects, or what happens inside when objects touch us? We will take our time. The history of the Great Learning is a little winding. At first it was not a separate book at all. It was one chapter inside the Book of Rites, a major Confucian classic from the preaching era, and the chapter title was simply The Great Learning. Later, in the Southern Song, the philosopher Zhu Xi grouped the Great Learning, the Doctrine of the Mean, the Analects, and Mencius into the 4 books, and their status rose above many larger works. Zhu Xi also did something crucial. He wrote a commentary that separated the original lines from his notes, and he added his own discussion of investigating things and extending knowledge, because the original passage is brief and has sparked more debate than almost any other section. So what you hear tonight includes both the old text associated with Zengzi's tradition and the lamps Zhu Xi lit along the path. We are not running a court case about authorship. We are following one thread in the words, how a person puts himself in order first, and only then speaks of anything larger. Tradition assigns the text to Zengzi. His given name was Shun, his courtesy name Ziyu. He was a late disciple of Confucius, famous for filial piety and for reflection. Official histories do not give us much, but the Analects mentions him several times, asking about the 3 reflections, asking about holding to the good path even unto death, speaking of a heavy burden and a long road. Zengzi was not the most eloquent disciple, nor the most successful in office. He was the sort who walked the teacher's words round and round inside his heart. That temperament fits the Great Learning, no shouting slogans, first asking, is your heart straight? Scholars still argue whether Zengzi wrote every line himself, whether later followers compiled it, whether several warring states' Ru masters wrote together. Tonight we will not chase signatures. We will chase the order in the text, inside before outside, self before others. The opening line is the book's main rope. The way of great learning lies in making bright virtue brighter, in loving the people, and in resting in the highest good. Do not let the old language frighten you. The way of great learning is the path of becoming fully human. Making bright virtue brighter means polishing the light already in you. Loving the people, in Zhu Xi's reading, there is also renewing the people, means not only lighting yourself, but helping those near you find a little light in the heart. Resting in the highest good means stopping at what is fitting, and not chasing without end. Among those 4 phrases, 2 words matter most: brightness and stopping. Before sleep, you especially need stopping. What you chased all day need not be chased again all night. Next, the book gives a famous sequence. Those of old who wished to brighten bright virtue throughout the world first governed their states. Wishing to govern their states, they first regulated their families. Wishing to regulate their families, they first cultivated their persons. Wishing to cultivate their persons, they first rectified their hearts. Wishing to rectify their hearts, they first made their intentions sincere. Wishing to make their intentions sincere, they first extended their knowledge. Extending knowledge lies in investigating things. From bringing peace to the world, the text walks backward step by step until it reaches investigating things. You might laugh, I am not governing a country, what has this to do with me? The point is that the ancients placed the large at the top and the small at the bottom. They were not telling you to remake the world tonight. They were telling you that the highest matters take root in the lowest. The root is often one small thing, one choice, one honest sentence, one thought before sleep. Later readers summed up those 8 steps in 8 words: investigate things, extend knowledge, make intentions sincere, rectify the heart, cultivate the person, regulate the family, govern the state, bring peace to the world. Like a ladder. You need not climb from the first rung in one leap, but you should know, skipping rungs, you fall. Many people want a peace under heaven dream but refuse the trouble of investigating things. Trouble is washing dishes, answering messages, apologizing, going to bed on time. Trouble is the ladder. Lying there tonight, you might ask, which rung have I been skipping lately? Let us begin with investigating things. The original says, extending knowledge lies in investigating things. Once things are investigated, knowledge reaches its fullness. Zhu Xi explained this as meaning things, studying their principle, penetrating their reason, only then does knowledge arrive. Later ages argued fiercely, some heard scientific experiment, some heard reading and note-taking, some heard something simpler: see the one thing in front of you clearly, without letting emotion blur it. For bedside book voice, investigating things need not mean a laboratory. It can mean, there is an unwashed bowl tonight, will you investigate it? Not the bowl, the question, why am I putting this off? Or that sharp reply to your partner, will you investigate? Not who was right, what am I actually angry about? To investigate is to pause and see clearly. Clear seeing is how knowledge arrives. After extending knowledge comes making intentions sincere. The text has a vivid line. What is meant by making intentions sincere is allowing no self-deception, as when you hate a bad smell or love a beautiful color. Sincerity means not lying to yourself. Hating a stench, loving beauty, the body does not pretend. Sincerity asks the same honesty of the heart. If you are afraid, do not play brave. If you care, do not play indifferent. Before sleep, self-deception is the worst, clearly exhausted, still scrolling. Clearly regretful, still insisting I'm fine. Sincerity is permission to tell yourself one true thing. It need not be loud. You alone are enough. After sincerity comes rectifying the heart. Rectifying the heart does not mean sitting up straight and calling that virtue. It means not letting 7 emotions run away with you: joy, anger, sorrow, delight, love, dislike, fear. Not that you must become emotionless. When emotion comes, know it as emotion. Do not treat it as the whole world. Your boss scolds you by day. Anger arrives. At night you replay. Anger stays. Your heart is dragged off. Rectifying the heart is seeing anger without handing your whole self to anger. That is hard, but the great learning places this before cultivating the person. With a crooked heart, even disciplined behavior grows crooked. Cultivating the person is where ordinary life should pause. This is not gym culture. It is speech and conduct, keep your word, keep boundaries, do not cheat people. Zengzi's 3 reflections are really a daily version of self-cultivation. You need not regulate family and state tonight, but you can ask, was there one place today where my words and my actions did not match? Matching does not mean perfection. It means trying to be one story. One story sleeps more steadily. 2 stories in the head fight each other before sleep. Regulating the family brings cultivation to the people closest to you, parents, partner, children, anyone under the same roof. The text says, when the family is regulated, then the people of the state can be taught. Regulating the family does not mean one person commands everyone. It means each person has a place, each person is respected, and fewer people drag one another underwater. If you rubbed against family by day, you need not hold a second trial at night. Remember, regulating is slow alignment, not winning in one night. Alignment sometimes begins with one soft sentence, I was harsh just now. That sentence is cultivation too. Governing the state and bringing peace to the world sound far from your bed. Yet state can mean an organization. World can mean the wider whole. Today that might be your team, company, neighborhood, or any public matter you care about. The text is not saying everyone must hold office. It is saying, if the heart holds only me and not people, the ladder breaks in midair. Before sleep, ask whether today you left others a little more ease. That is not governing a country, it is refusing to lock your heart in a box only you can open. The 8 steps done, the book offers another sequence made for night, knowing where to stop, then there is stability. Stable, then there is quiet. Quiet, then there is ease. At ease, then there is careful thought. In careful thought, then there is attainment. Knowing where to stop means knowing where to rest. With stopping, the heart can stand. Standing, it can quiet. Quiet, it can settle. Settled, it can think clearly. Thinking clearly, something is gained. Does that sound like a bedtime ritual? Stop, stand, quiet, settle, think, attain. Many sleepless nights lack stopping, not knowing how to rest, chasing on until dawn. Tonight you might try telling yourself, here, I can stop. The Great Learning also says, what is sincere within will show outside. Not mysticism, when you are tired, your voice goes rough. When you are angry, your brow tightens. It reminds you, polish the outside only after you soften the inside. A little ease inside means less performance outside. Performance is enough by day. Performing again at night exhausts the soul. If Zengzi saw us posting curated lives online, he might say, before the outer shape, ask what is sincere within. There is also, the noble person must be careful in solitude. Solitude means when you are alone. Care in solitude means that even unseen, you try not to do what shames the heart, not because someone might catch you, but because a crack in the heart whistles when the night wind blows. Scrolling alone, choosing alone, you can ask, was I careful this once? Care is not tension. It is self-respect. Self-respect keeps the blanket warmer. The text also teaches the way of the measuring square. Like holding a ruler to yourself and to relationships, do not impose on others what you dislike. Also ask, can I give a little of what others need? That old Confucian line becomes, in the Great Learning, a tool for family life. Couples, parents and children, colleagues can all use the square. Not only does this feel good to me, but does this measure fit? Fit is not flattery. It is clear edges and less guilt in the heart. When Zhu Xi expanded investigating things and extending knowledge, he stressed reading, observing, and exhausting principle. Some critics say he looked too outward. Others thank him for giving readers a path. If you do not understand, look it up. Ask. Inch closer. For our channel, I shrink that further. If you do not understand yourself, do not hurry to understand the world. Understanding yourself often begins with one small thing. Why did I avoid that phone call today? Why did that sentence sting? Inside the sting, knowledge hides. The great learning and the Analects are branches of one tree. The Analects records Confucius speaking and disciples writing, like chat logs. The great learning reads like a master outline, gathering benevolence, righteousness, ritual, wisdom, and trust into one roadmap. Compared with the doctrine of the mean, the great learning teaches steps. The mean teaches measure. If we read the mean next, you will hear neither leaning nor tipping. Tonight, hear one step at a time. Compared with Mencius, Mencius loves debate and thunder. The great learning loves order and calm. Calm suits bedtime. In Mencius there is a story about Zengzi's father Zhu Xi. Confucius once asked his disciples each to speak his aspiration. Zhu Xi said, "Bathe in the Yi River, take the breeze at the Wu Yu altar, sing, and go home." Confucius said, "I agree with Zhang Dian." Zhang Dian was Zengzi's father. That household knew both release and restraint, spring breeze and threefold reflection. Zengzi was not only severe self-examination. He came from a home that could sing and return. Do not read the great learning as a stern face. It carries homecoming in it. Through history, many scholars entered Confucian learning through the great learning. When Wang Yangming was young, he too wrestled with investigating things. Legend says he sat before bamboo for 7 days, fell ill, and later turned toward the learning of the heart. The story may not be exact in every detail, yet it shows, if you read investigation as forcing outer objects, a person breaks. If you read it as seeing the bond between thing and heart, a person opens. You need not investigate bamboo tonight. Investigate one question: why can't I sleep? The great learning is short, yet it is often placed first among classics for beginners. Short suits repetition. Repetition suits the pillow. You need not understand everything at once. Take one word away. Take stopping, you understand bedtime. Take sincerity, you understand not lying to yourself. Take care and solitude, you understand being gentle even when alone. Gentleness is not weakness. It is ceasing to fight yourself. Another line runs, as if 10 eyes were upon you, as if 10 hands were pointing at you. Is this not stern? It is not a call to live under surveillance. It reminds you, the solitude of the heart is rarely absolute, a daytime habit returns at night. Words spoken to someone leave a shape in the relationship. Sternness is not fear. It is self-respect. Self-respect means fewer replays before sleep, because by day you leave less to hide. The text also says, wealth adorns the house. Virtue adorns the person. A house can be renovated bright. The person must be nourished by virtue. Nourish is not makeup. It is slow tending. If you always soothe yourself by buying things or scrolling short videos, you polish the surface. If you nourish with honesty, trustworthiness, and care and solitude, you polish the inside. Polished inside, you need less pretending. Pretending doubles exhaustion, as we said. Exhaustion is an old friend of insomnia. The Zengzi tradition repeats, less pretending, more nourishing, more stopping. The first core idea, let us unfold, making bright virtue brighter. Bright virtue is not borrowed light from outside. It is light already in you, covered by desire, comparison, and fear. Making it brighter means lifting the cover a little. How? Not slogans, one small act. Before you turn off the lamp, scold yourself one time fewer. Speak one less sharp sentence to family. Tell yourself one honest thing. Light fails when the cover is thick. Lift it a little. That may be enough for sleep. Second, loving the people or renewing the people. You need not hear political slogans. Hear this: a person whose heart is a little brighter does not brighten only himself. You listen more willingly, yield more willingly, take a little less advantage in relationships. Too much taking darkens the heart. Darkness replays at night. Was I too much? Taking less is not a philosophy of losing. It is a clean heart. Clean is another kind of bright. Third, resting in the highest good. Highest good is not perfection. It is what fits. Words fit. Actions fit. Stopping fits. Many insomniacs fail at not stopping, negotiations that should end, comparisons that should end, scrolling that should end. Knowing where to stop is telling yourself, enough for now. Enough is not quitting. It is clocking out. Clocking out is the door to sleep. Fourth, map the 8 steps onto your day. Morning, investigate things. What is the one task that matters today? Noon, extend knowledge. Do I see clearly what I am busy with? Afternoon, sincerity. Am I lying that I'm not really angry? Evening, rectify the heart. When emotion came, did it lead me away? Night, cultivate the person. Is there one place I can reconcile with the day? Before bed, regulate the family. Did I leave one soft sentence for someone at home? Higher up, governing and peace become. Did I take one more ounce of responsibility for the world around me, one less ounce of complaint? Complaint steals sleep most quietly. Fifth, the sequence: stop, stabilize, quiet, settle, think, attain. You can treat it like a bedtime chant. Softly, stop, I know I can rest now. Stabilize, I return myself to center. Quiet, outside noise remains, inside can still. Settle, I give my body to the bed. Think, tomorrow waits for tomorrow. Attain, tonight I gain sleep. Attainment is not always achievement. Sometimes it is rest. Rest itself is a kind of attainment. Sixth, the line is when you hate a bad smell or love a beautiful color. Why those images? Because the body does not pretend. Train the heart the same way. Tired, admit tired, do not cheat with 5 more minutes. Hurt, admit hurt, do not cheat with I don't care. Cheat long enough and the heart stinks, you smell it yourself yet pretend not to. Sincerity opens the window. Seventh, the 7 emotions in rectifying the heart. Joy, anger, sorrow, delight, love, dislike, fear. The great learning does not ask you to become wood. It asks you to be master, not slave. Slave mode: anger arrives, you erupt. Fear arrives, you flee. Joy arrives, you lose shape. Master mode: I am angry, yet I can choose whether to speak. I am afraid, yet I can choose whether to move. Choice is practice. Practice can begin with 1 deep breath before sleep. Eighth, self-cultivation and Zengzi's 3 reflections. Did I do my best for others? Was I trustworthy with friends? Did I live what I was taught? Modern versions: did today's work honor me? Did I break faith with someone who matters? Did I learn one thing about myself? 3 questions need not take long. 30 seconds before sleep beat 30 minutes of replay. On regulating the family, the great learning says, if the family cannot be taught, there is no one who can teach others. If the home is out of tune, little else teaches well. Teaching here is not lecturing. It is example. You tell the child to sleep early while you scroll past midnight. You tell your partner not to shout while you raise your voice. The home falls out of tune. Tuning begins with consistency. Consistency begins with I will change one thing first. Changing first brings sleep closer than waiting for the other person to change. The book also speaks of wealth and virtue. Virtue gathers people. People gather wealth. Wealth shared gathers more. This is not worship of money. Virtue is root. Wealth is branch. Root in chaos, branch in chaos. If money anxiety keeps you awake, ask, do I lack money, or do I lack stopping? Sometimes what you lack is stopping, not the account balance. Stop a moment. Then you can see what you truly need. There is also, when the petty person is at leisure, he does what is not good without limit. Seeing a noble person, he is ashamed and hides what is not good while showing what is good. Alone, he does small wrongs. In company, he performs. Performing doubles fatigue. Care in solitude means less performance. Less performance means not staging a second show at night, the face I wore by day. That night show exhausts the soul. Cherish the people as you would an infant describes how a ruler should treat the people. Shrink it, treat the wounded part of yourself as you would an infant, do not scold it with the cruelest words. Do not drive it with the harshest standards. Cherish is not spoil. It is protect. Protected, the heart can regulate family. Family regulated, the person cultivated. Near the end stands a famous image, the golden sound and the jade vibration, like music that begins with the great bell and ends with the chimestone, many instruments in between forming one piece. From investigating things to peace under heaven is one chain. Break one link, the music fails. You need not score perfectly on every link, but know the chain exists. Knowing that, you will not abandon the path because I am only ordinary. Ordinary people too can strike their note on the rung called self-cultivation. After the image comes more force, this is called knowing the root. This is called the fullness of knowledge. Knowing the root means knowing where the root lies, not in outer noise, but in sincerity and rectification within. If tonight you heard only the height of the 8 steps, do not forget the wholeness of the golden sound. Whole means the chain still holds. Break the chain on self-deception, and the loudest upper notes scatter. Scattered notes are many channels open in the head at once. Whole notes leave one channel, I can sleep. For words more, see the people as wounded. A ruler must not neglect the people's pain. Read people as the easily wounded self within, do not neglect it, do not whip it until 3 in the morning. Neglecting yourself is also failing to regulate family. Sometimes family begins with being a little kinder to yourself. Kindness is not indulgence. It is protect, then sleep, as with an infant. After Zhu Xi, the great learning became required for the civil service exams, and critics said it overstressed outer sequence. The criticism has point, if you memorize the 8 items without sincere intention, you get slogans. Tonight we stress, sequence is a map, not a shackle. The map shows direction. You choose the pace. Choosing pace includes choosing tonight, here, enough. Compared with vegetable roots talk, that book teaches lightness, the great learning teaches order. Lightness is fewer waves in the heart. Order is knowing what comes first. If you heard flowers bloom and fall, clouds roll and stretch from vegetable roots, and nowhere to stop from the great learning, one teaches you to loosen your grip, one teaches you to see clearly. Loosening and seeing can live together. That pairing is an excellent pillow state. Compared with Master Guegu reads hearts and gaps in speech. The great learning reads your own heart and its steps. Guegu is daytime strategy. The great learning is nighttime self-check. Strategy can be studied. Self-check can lead to sleep. Sleep is not surrender, it leaves tomorrow's work to tomorrow's clearer you. We are about halfway through the program. During this breath, one small favor, if this voice kept you company tonight, tap like and subscribe, leave me a lamp in the dark. No need to sit up. One finger is enough. Good. We continue upward. In the second half I will close the loop on investigating things and bring the 8 steps back into your blanket. Back to the opening, what are we investigating? My reading, the relationship between thing and self. Things are events, people, words outside. Self is the reaction inside. When that relationship clears, knowledge arrives. Then sincerity, rectification, cultivation, family. If one matter loops in your head tonight, investigate which string inside me is tied to that outer event. Finding the string may not untie it instantly, but you will know what is sounding. Knowing, you fear less. Zengzi's 3 reflections can also be investigation. Did I do my best? Investigate. Did I slack? Was I trustworthy? Investigate. Did I break my word? Did I review what I was taught? Investigate. Did I live the good I learned? Living beats memorizing. Memorizing is for exams. Living is life. Life includes sleep. Some read bringing peace to the world as ambition. I prefer breadth of heart. Breadth is not becoming a leader. It is making room in the heart for people besides yourself. More room, fewer replays. Fewer replays, sleep comes closer. One more courtesy to a stranger, one more thanks to someone serving you, one less sharp judgment on family, all are shrunken versions of peace under heaven. Shrunken is not small. It is real. The great learning is short and worth repeating. You may read only the opening. The way of great learning lies in making bright virtue brighter, 7 times, like counting breath. Counting breath is an old sleep aid. The great learning is counting breath in words. You need not understand all. Understand stopping, and that may be enough. If you worry this is too Confucian, too moral, hear one more line: the great learning does not demand perfection. It asks for imperfect with direction. Direction runs inside to outside. Imperfection allows you to stop tonight at self-culture, or even halfway through rectifying the heart. Half beats 0. 0 is doing nothing yet scolding yourself until 3. For the young, heartbreak, job loss, misunderstanding, you can ask sincerity first: am I lying that I don't care? Then rectification: am I dragged by emotion, or can I still choose? Then stopping: where can I stop tonight? Stopping is not lying flat forever. It protects sleep and tomorrow's power to change. Change needs a clear head. Clarity needs sleep tonight. For those who always feel not good enough, once things are investigated, knowledge reaches its fullness. Fullness includes knowing limits. I can only go this far today. Going this far, I may sleep. Sleep is not defeat. It is Zengzi's heavy burden and long road. The road is long, so save strength. Saving begins with closing the eyes. Another common night: big talk by day, regret by night. Big talk breaks sincerity. Regret lets face hijack rectification. The Great Learning's Order says, recover sincerity first, admit the big talk. Do not polish it in your head into a golden quote. Polish tomorrow with action. Tonight, polish sleep. Sleep well, and tomorrow's words lighten. Light is not weak. It is ceasing to wrestle yourself. Compared with the Tao Te Ching, Laozi teaches non-action. The Great Learning teaches non-action with steps, not chaotic letting go, but stopping first, then quiet, then gain. Gain can be sleep. Compared with Zhuangzi, Zhuangzi loves freedom. The Great Learning loves order. Freedom without order scatters the heart. Scattering befriends insomnia. Many versions exist. Zhu Xi's commentary shaped history most, while some scholars argue for older texts. Tonight we skip version wars. Every version says inside before outside. Inside is what bedside book voice cares about. Outer things can be investigated tomorrow. Inner stopping, do tonight. The book's temperament can be gathered in 2 words: know where to stop. No brightness, no stopping, know what fits. Fitting includes sleeping at a fitting hour, leaving fitting words for tomorrow, holding expectations that do not crush you. Crushing comes from skipping rungs. Not skipping is the slow chewing of vegetable roots. Slow is not late. Slow is steady. Steady is the sleep Zengzi handed down. Han Yingming wrote vegetable roots talk to help you rest in lightness. The Zengzi tradition's great learning helps you rest in order. Lightness is blanket. Order is bed frame. Frame steady, blanket warm. If you want both, by day ask with the great learning, which step am I on? By night ask with vegetable roots, can I lighten a little? Asked, you may sleep. In marriage, use the measuring square, tones I hate, I try not to throw at you. Respect I want, I try to give you a little. With children, use cherish as an infant. Before scolding, ask, if this were an infant, would I be this harsh? Harsh is not forbidden. Protection belongs in teaching. Protection is also family regulation. For yourself, use care in solitude. Scrolling alone, ask, does this quiet me or scatter me? Scattered, stop. Stopping is the great learning's first prescription for modern life. No need to fetch medicine. Fetch stopping. The book is also known in English as The Great Learning, often linked with self-cultivation in Western sinology. You need not read English scholarship. Know this, the book asks how to become more whole, not more merely successful. Success sometimes steals sleep. Wholeness often includes sleep. If you love planning, write the 8 steps on small cards. You need not practice all daily. 1 rung per day is enough. Monday investigate, Tuesday extend knowledge, Wednesday sincerity, easier to live than memorizing 8 items at once. Living is what the great learning wants. Memorizing is what exams want. Bedside book voice stands with living. Living includes practicing stopping tonight, that counts as 1 rung completed. If you fear falling behind, resting in the highest good tells you, highest good is fitting, not first place. First place often cannot stop. Fitting knows when to sleep, when to rise, which matter need not replay. Replay thinks you are not there yet. Stopping admits, you can continue tomorrow. Continuing needs sleep, not a 3 a.m. rehearsal in the head. If you have heard the Book of Changes, you remember change. The great learning adds, within change, stopping. Change is outside. Stopping is inside. If you have heard the Analects, you remember the noble person is not a vessel. The great learning adds, even without being a vessel, know which rung you stand on. The rung need not be highest, but let it be real. Real tonight means actually sleeping. Before good night, a small question, among the 8 steps, which do you most want to practice tonight? Investigating things, sincerity, rectifying the heart, or stopping? No need to answer now. After you wake, tell me in the comments. I read every one. If you enjoy nights like this, subscribe and tap the bell so on the next sleepless evening I can find you again. Next time we might read the doctrine of the mean. The great learning maps the road. The mean asks how each step stays balanced, not too much, not too little. Both suit the pillow. One line for tonight's closing, if you can renew yourself one day, renew yourself daily, and again daily renew yourself. Renewal can begin tonight, 1 fewer replay, 1 less self-deception, 1 less skipped rung. Renewal need not shake the earth. Renewal can be the moment you close your eyes knowing, I stop. Stopping is bright virtue. Bright virtue is giving yourself a little light. The light need not shine for the whole world. Shine into the blanket, and that is enough. Let the lamp stay dim. The ladder lives in the heart. You need not climb it in one breath. Tomorrow you will be human again. Tonight be the lightest part of human, a person lying down. If Zengzi saw you, he might say that is enough. Set down today. Leave tomorrow to tomorrow. Sleep well. Good dreams to you tonight. See you in the pages tomorrow morning. One last gathering in. You need not become Zengzi or Zhu Xi. You need only become the self willing to stop tonight. Stopping is not slacking. It is setting down the force that would investigate until 3 a.m. Investigation remains for tomorrow. Tonight, investigate sleep. Sleep too is an attainment in the great learning. This is Bedside Book Voice. Good night, see you in the pages.